Hey guys, we are back here with What Women Binge.
I look up and Patricia Heaton is walking into the restaurant.
Dear friend, Patricia Heaton. What's the first time you were like, okay, I've made it, or I'm good, or I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Another Wednesday, another What Women Binge. Should we change it to What We Binge?
I think
For
we
the
don't.
boys? No?
I mean, I'm
Keep it
glad
for
that
the
we have
ladies.
some male fans that are listening
And we have a
are
lot of
into
men
it.
on the show.
I know, but it's still about us as women and what we're into.
Because women are so social.
Yeah, we like men.
Oh, we definitely like men.
We like women.
Most of us.
But it's,
We like women.
we're women. We're binging things.
We like men. We like women. We like everything.
Fine.
We love puppies. We like babies. We like everybody.
You know who else likes babies?
I do. I know who likes little tiny chubby babies. Our guest today.
Yes, she does.
She does. Should we tell everybody who our guest is?
We should, but we have other things to talk about too.
We do.
Before we get there.
Okay, guys, we have a fun guest today, a friend of ours, but we'll get to that in a minute. What are we going to talk about today? Amanda, what are you... So you recently had some time
I've had a lot of time on my
to
hands.
yourself.
You know what I've done?
You've binged.
I've binged things, but also, you know what else I've done?
Laundry.
No, I've gone online and I've rated us.
You rated us.
It's probably not good juju to like rate your own podcast.
No, it's definitely good. I did it. So here's the thing, you guys. With a podcast, especially one as new as ours, it's important to have like ratings and reviews. So, I mean, the number one thing you guys could do is listen to the podcast. Thank you very much.
And we're glad you're here.
And we're so glad. And number 2 would be subscribe. And number 3 would be rate and review. And then number 4, kind of a big 4,
It's a big ask, but we appreciate it.
is like supporting our sponsors because they support us so we can do this. So they're the reason we're able to be here, be on camera, have a beautiful set, have the lights on, that kind of thing. So if you guys want to support our sponsors, that would be awesome. But if you just want to subscribe, but if you want to rate and review right now, we'll wait. Should we wait?
We'll give them a second. We'll be
Okay,
here.
here we go. What's our like ringtone while you wait? Like our... Maybe we should play the theme song.
Do you know the theme song?
Do you know who wrote the theme song?
I know who wrote the theme song.
Who wrote the theme song, Amanda?
Your husband.
My husband did. It's the
He's
first
so
time he's
cute.
ever done anything musical from... Oh, well, that's not true. My 40th birthday, he did sing... I wanted him to sing Aerosmith's Dream On. And he did. And not only did he sing that, but he also sang our wedding song, which is In Excess, Never Tear Us Apart. And he sang Angel Eyes to me, which
Oh my
was the song he
gosh.
sang at our engagement party to me.
Were you a puddle?
No, but you know what? Recently,
Oh
I
my
thought I
God.
lost the video. I mean, I was, but here's the thing. At my engagement party, 500 people in Alabama. No, 700 people in Alabama. This is why we had to have a small wedding in Italy. We had 85 people in Italy. But our engagement party, because he was many generations deep in
Yeah.
Alabama, we had not only, we had like 3 generations of every family from the town come to our, we had to have 50 hostesses. Like 5 were on the food and 5 were on the drinks and 5 were on the flowers and 3 were in charge of the tent. It was a whole thing. And we had live music and Mark got up on stage. I didn't know he was going to do this. And he got up on stage and performed. And he sang Angel Eyes to me. I can't even remember. I don't even know who the band is. Ask your ear. Who's the band that sang Angel Eyes? So he gets on stage and he sings Angel Eyes to me, but I'm right up front and I'm holding on to my little sister, I think it is, and kind of rocking back and forth, listening, smiling at him like, oh, he's so cute. This is so cool. Should I look at him? Should I not look at him? Should I look at the guitar? Should I look at the band? I should look at him. And I'm going through my head through all this, but I'm like smiling, like this is a happy moment in my life.
But you're not eating it up.
I turn around and everybody's in tears. His cousin, my mom, like, am I having the wrong reaction to this right now? Yeah, I'm not like... I'm not an emotion. I'm not like a happy crier usually.
Yeah.
I think as I've gotten older I have, but I really was never. And I was so confused by my mixed emotions of like, wait, am I supposed to be crying? But like I'm happy and like I don't want to cry. This is kind of groovy.
Brain says it's the Jeff Healey band.
Jeff Healey Band sang Angel Eyes, and that's who Mark. Mark covered that for me, and then he did it again at my 40th, and it was really nice. But we had a camera crew at my 40th birthday party because it was going to be. Put on, I don't know, like ET or Extra or something like that. And they had the footage. I never had the footage. Kind of like my wedding. I still don't have my wedding footage because it was cut into a reality show. So I have the old VHS tapes, but that's it. And so I recently found one of the songs he sang to me. So I found In Excess, Never Tear Us Apart.
Oh,
Maybe I'll post it on
you
YouTube.
should.
So you guys can go to YouTube and you can see this show and subscribe and then rate and then review and then
I couldn't help myself, though. I was looking at it and, I've gone through all the different places where you can get podcasts and made sure I subscribed. And then I started looking at the reviews, which are really nice. We actually have
Are they?
incredible reviews, which makes me feel really good.
Maybe we should read some of them.
Maybe we should. Maybe on the secrets episode.
Oh, okay, guys. So if you review,
maybe we'll read it.
We'll only read the good ones. No, I say we'll read the bad ones too. But I don't want people to write bad ones.
I'm going to do this myself. And then, since 2 of my kids were isolated for COVID, so we've all been home. Luckily, I did not get it. My husband did not get it. One of my other children did not get it. So I had a lot of time on my hands. And so you remember me telling you about the werewolf novels.
Yes.
I just finished one and I was kind of over it. Wasn't ready to start another.
Let me guess. Did you start Twilight?
No.
Oh, okay.
Worse than that.
Oh, no.
I downloaded SimCity on my phone.
Oh, you've been into game. Are you a gamer now?
If that's what it takes to be a gamer.
You're gaming.
But
did you ever go through like Angry Birds?
No, yes.
Candy Crush?
Candy Crush, you get to a certain point and you're stuck on the same level for months.
Yeah.
And it gets frustrating. I'll probably go back in a couple of years.
Candy Crush was the only thing I did in 2012 when I had Tucker. We both had babies 9 years ago. I got into Candy Crush. And that was only for like maybe 2 months while I was breastfeeding late at night. And I would stay up all night to play Candy Crush. And that baby was going to wake up again in an hour. So I might as well just stay awake.
Exactly.
And I did that. And luckily you would run out of levels eventually or coins or whatever it was.
Hearts.
Something, yeah. And then, but before that, before Tucker came along, there was Angry Birds. And I was pretty into Angry Birds for a minute there. But I'm mainly a Sudoku. Oh, have you ever done Six Towers?
No.
I think it was given to me by a tutor for my kids to have something like an educational game on the phone. That or Flow. There's something called Flow.
That's the pipes, right?
Yes. Like you have to connect the dots through the pipe. Yeah, you have to like build pipes. But the Six Towers is numbered towers, and they're numbered like 6 to 1. And they're different colors and they're mixed up and you have to figure out a way to move each one from the top over. So you have to do it systematically so you can stack them properly. Anyway, it's hard to explain, but it's pretty fabulous. And it's educational and it helps. I always think like stuff like that or stuff like Sudoku or even like, I think there's a game that is like Simon, but I think it's called Barf. I think it's called Barf.
Okay.
Maybe it's not with an F, but anyway, I don't think it's Bart. Anyway, it's like a memory game with 4 colors and it goes boop, 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 boop.
Oh.
And you got to remember like the pattern.
Those are so frustrating.
I kind of love them. I love anything that kind of
very
like...
confrontational.
You think?
Your failure is very in your face with those games.
It's like, how far can you get? Can you get 6? Yeah.
Like really.
Especially when you're on the airplane and they hear it through your headphones next to you.
Yes.
But I do love Sudoku and I'm back into solitaire like I was when, remember the first computers?
Solitaire. Yes.
Everyone plays solitaire because it's the only thing you could play. Now everyone's scrolling.
I'm for that, but I also like these games that have the stories. So for the longest time, I think we've talked about this before, the Sultan's game that I was into.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my word.
Have you done, real quick, sorry, have you done Clash Royale? Because my son's really into Clash Royale and it reminds me of something that would look like a Sultan type game. I don't know.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
I have not done that one. So I had to give up the Sultans because it was becoming too much. And not only was it becoming a time suck, but it's also like a money suck. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, it's just $10.
Just reminded me of something.
And so I got rid of the Sultans. I haven't spent any money on video games in a long time. And then I downloaded SimCity.
Is it the same as Sims?
So it's SimCity. So you're a mayor of a city and you're building this city up and you're making
Sims
decisions.
was you were like one person in a house.
Which I loved.
Okay.
Loved.
I never did it.
Oh, because you get to play God.
It sounds
like,
awesome. It does sound
awesome.
So some of these things, like anything that I ever thought I might get addicted to, I wouldn't go near.
Good choices in life.
Never went near those things because I was like, I'm probably going to like them. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I appreciate this about you. I wish I had the same self-control.
I don't when it comes to like food or fast cars, but I do with other things.
Yeah.
So SimCity, sorry.
SimCity.
Keep interrupting you.
I download the game. I'm in it for like an hour. I've used up all my money. And I'm like,
fake money
that they give you. And I'm like, well, I just need to build some more houses. So I buy $20 worth of fake money and I keep going.
It's such a slippery slope.
An hour later, I spent $100 on SimCity yesterday. Earmuffs brain.
I know. Here's the thing. You just reminded me that there was a game called Zoo or something Zoo. I don't remember what kind of zoo, but it was Zoo. And you would build enclosures for your animals and feed them and try to get more animals and try to breed them and try to build a amusement park around it so you can make more money off the thing. And I have to say, I used to lay in bed at night while Mark was asleep, and I would like take track of which animal
You had
would
taken
pay
care
off
of.
the most. Like if I got this
That was
animal,
me
it
and
costs this
Sultan's.
much, but it'll make this much. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I realized eventually that I'd spend $99, but and that was overall. That was in like the months that I was obsessed with that game. And finally I had to put it down and be like, this is ridiculous. I'm building a fake zoo and spending real money.
It took me 6 months to get there with Sultan's. It took me 3 days to get there with SimCity, and I will be deleting it off my phone tonight.
You've got to take a break.
This could
This
go
is what I try
poorly.
to tell my kids. I'm like,
It's already gone poorly.
I tell my kids, I'm like, you have to take a break. You cannot spend fake money. Like, if you can't get it with points and stars or gems or whatever it is that game gives you, and you can't be patient enough to wait for those. This is what I'm going to tell you, Amanda.
I know.
Here's your therapy. If you can't wait patiently for those gems and coins and stuff to pop up for you to,
I know.
then you can't play it anymore.
I can't play it.
It is shut off for you.
Yes.
See, we're just used to this like age where we get our information immediately, we get our entertainment immediately, we get our food immediately. Everything is so instant. We're not used to having to wait and be patient. We don't have to wait a week to watch the next episode of our show. We don't have to wait for the radio to play our favorite song. We don't have to wait for the album to drop so we can go get the whole album. We get songs here and there, and then Spotify's got everything you need, and Netflix has got everything you need, and
Instant gratification.
you got to figure out a way to
It feels good, but
Yep.
you know,
we got to lengthen
it comes back to bite you.
our attention spans have to be lengthened in some way.
That AT&T bill's gonna.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Tell Logan. I hope you're not watching, Logan.
Oh,
although I know you're listening right now.
Oh yeah, he knows.
So should we bring in our guest?
I think we should.
I'm excited. This is like my first friend in Nashville. I mean, you're my like
I mean, I'll be second.
quickest, fastest,
It's fine.
bestest friend. But
I could be second
Patty
to this one.
was my first friend because she reached out to me on DM on Instagram. Instagram does have some good benefits.
Yes, it does.
For real social purposes. She reached out to me on DM because we both worked for World Vision. We met at an event in New York. We had a lot of stuff in common, and then we met up at an event and just couldn't stop talking to each other for probably 45 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
So we found each other on Instagram, and then she found out I was moving to Nashville, and she reached out. She's like, "Are you moving to Nashville?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Me too." And it was like, well, let's hang out because we don't know anyone. We don't know what we're doing. And it turns out we lived around the corner from each other.
That's so crazy.
A lot in common. We have boys and stuff. So let me give her a proper introduction though here.
Well, while you're doing that, I just have to specify how I was introduced to Patricia. So all I've heard from Melissa about her friend Patty, as she calls her, was just how wonderful she is to be around and how much fun she is and how they go walking in their neighborhood and they have so much in common because she has boys. Nothing about the fact that they're both actresses or, you know, successful actresses at that has ever come up. This is just my other mom friend and you're going to meet her and you're just going to love her. So we go to dinner one night and we're sitting at the table and she's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you my friend Patty's coming." I was like, "Cool, great. I've been wanting to meet her."
And she was like a few minutes late. We had a table of like 7 and
Yeah.
she took the 8th chair.
And
walked
about
in.
that time, I look up and Patricia Heaton is walking into the restaurant. And I look at Melissa, I'm like, "Does Patty happen to be Patricia Heaton?" And she
was like, I didn't know how to be, I didn't want to name drop, but at the same time she was coming, so I should have probably warned you guys. So now I warn you guys. However,
you maybe should have. You
I
definitely
know.
should have.
It was funny. Everybody's kind of like, what? And they were all like, you can't shock us like that again. But then and then at my Christmas party, Patty couldn't come, but somebody else walked in the door and I've never heard a room get so quiet.
Oh, it was so awkward.
So funny. I was having this tacky sweater party. It was loud. There were lots of people from all different kind of parts of my life in Nashville, neighbors, old friends, football moms, lower school moms. Like it was like all these different groups of people and it was very loud. And all of a sudden, Jason Priestley and his gorgeous wife, Naomi, walk in.
Stunning.
And I
woman.
mean, it got so quiet that I had to turn around and go, what's going on?
It was
and
like
everybody's
the air had
looking
been sucked out of the room.
It was so, or I don't know if that's rude to say to him, but like maybe the air filled the room. His presence filled the room so much that nobody could speak. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. I've never seen anything like that happen.
It was
I think
wild.
every mom in that room went, Brendan's here.
Yes. Yes.
It was just a moment of like, wow.
Now
So
you've learned to warn us.
I have to warn you guys more. I'm not a big, I'm trying not to be a name dropper.
Folk over here don't understand what your life is.
But what's crazy is I never hung out with so many celebrities till I moved to Nashville. But it's great here because now I can have them on the podcast.
It's true. It works out to my benefit.
It does. You're welcome.
Okay, so tell us about Patty.
Okay, here's Patty's intro, guys. But first go review our show. Oh, wait. I'm just kidding. Okay. She was born in Ohio. She felt a calling to entertain from the time she was a little girl. You can read about that in her books. But by 1996, she hit it big time by starring in a sitcom on network television that ran for 9 years. Can you guess what it is?
I have a guess.
Following that high success, she dove right into another huge hit show. And when that ended, she added a leading role in her third sitcom to her resume. Patricia Heaton was ranked at number 24 on the TV Guide Network special Funniest Women on TV. She should be a lot higher than that, I think.
So too.
Nominated 7 times, won 3 Emmys, nominated for 13 SAG Awards, took home 1 statue. By the way, the SAG Award is the heaviest of all of them. I wish I had one. They're gorgeous. She was nominated for a Lucille Lortel Award, which is a big deal in the theater industry. Had a cooking show on the Food Network. Has a star on Hollywood Boulevard. Now I've got a...
Do you have one of those?
No, I don't. I think I should get one.
It's time.
I know you have to pay for it now, though.
Okay, so...
All right, buy me one, Amanda. Look, when our podcast is at episode 300, I'm going to get a star on Hollywood Boulevard just to be like Patty. She's married to a director-actor husband, Dave, who's so handsome. Together they have 4 sons, and now they're my neighbors in our adopted home of Nashville. You know her from Carol's Second Act, The Middle, and Everybody Loves Raymond.
My favorite.
Or maybe you read her first book, Motherhood in Hollywood, How to Get a Job Like Mine, which is really bright and fun, and I recommend you listen to the audiobook. It's wonderful. Or her most recent book, My Second Act, which shares stories from women in all walks who aspire to make their dreams come true as they enter the later years of their life. She has a heart of gold and does amazing work for numerous organizations and is especially known for and called to do work as an ambassador for one of my favorite charities, World Vision. She has sponsored children in Zambia like I do, and she just goes on trips with them around the world to do the good work that World Vision does. She's a very Catholic upbringing and comes from a very Catholic family. She has a sister who's a nun, and she is just a do-gooder on every level. I mean, nice person, giving, sharing, generous, lovely, amazing. Let's welcome Patricia Heaton.
Woohoo!
So Amanda, you know that I consider myself like a lifelong learner. Like I'm always wanting to learn and get better and learn new things. And
Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, trying to learn like a new language or a new hobby or, something that might carry me through the rest of my life to be able to just have a hobby I can say I've gotten good at and I've mastered.
What are you working on now?
Go to Masterclass and you can work on anything you want.
I love Masterclass.
Masterclass is so cool. Anything you're interested in. I mean, if you're interested in photography and learning how to write a screenplay, in music, any aspect of music.
Songwriting. Mariah Carey is doing songwriting.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh, Ron Howard does directing and just you want to learn how to do comedy. You want whatever you want to learn. There is always a masterclass.
And Judd Apatow is doing.
Oh, Judd Apatow, yeah, doing comedy. Yeah.
So incredible.
So listen, guys, we want you to go check it out, okay? You can get unlimited access to every masterclass. And as a What Women Binge listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. So go to masterclass.com/WWB, that's What Women Binge, right now. That's masterclass.com/WWB for 15% off masterclasses. And these are great because you can do them anywhere.
Anywhere on your phone, on your television, on your computer. And if you're on the run, you can even listen to audio only mode like a podcast.
Yeah. You can just listen to it like when you're driving in the car.
And they're short and digestible.
Yeah, they're 15 at the most. They're like 10 to 15 minutes. They fit easily into your lifestyle. And in addition to video lessons, Masterclass classes provide you with downloadable lessons, recaps, and supplemental materials. So you can download it for later if you're not on Wi-Fi.
The recipe. So if Gordon Ramsay is teaching you how to do something,
there's all the cooking.
You're going to need to practice.
There's so many different ways of cooking and whatnot. There's hundreds of video lessons from 100 plus of today's most brilliant minds, and it's available anywhere, anytime on iOS, Android desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku.
There you go.
So how do they get it again, Amanda?
You can get unlimited access to every masterclass as a WWB listener, and you get 15% off an annual membership. So go to masterclass.com/WWB now. That's masterclass.com/WWB for 15% off Masterclass.
Thank you, Masterclass, for sponsoring What Women Binge. Amanda, how can I feel younger and look younger?
Well, there's a lot of answers to that question, but only one that I really believe in.
Which one?
Have you tried collagen?
Are you talking about BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen Supplements?
I am.
I do love those because, by the time we hit middle age, our bodies produce less than half the collagen that they did in their 20s.
And since collagen makes up our skin, hair, joints, nails, and bones, the gradual loss of collagen over time is why people look old.
Yeah, we get wrinkles and our joints get stiff. Like right now, I'm kind of hurting and like the skin starts to sag and it just takes longer to recover from our really tough workouts that we've been doing.
Yeah, and our modern diets aren't helping anything either. As we age, it would take all day to cook and eat the right foods to properly nourish our bodies.
That's why I love BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen Protein Powders. They ensure that my body is getting what it needs every day to help me rebuild my collagen so I can look and feel my best.
And BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen Proteins provide you with 5 types of collagen needed to support the entire anti-aging process, plus essential amino acids to make it a complete protein.
Yeah, many other brands on the market only use one type of collagen, right? And this one uses lots of types of collagen. It's got 5.
And as I said before, it supports healthy skin, hair, nails, bones, and joint health.
Yeah, it supports athletic performance, recovery, and active lifestyle.
And gut health. It's easily digestible, and it doesn't taste bad.
Yeah, and it doesn't clump, right?
No.
It doesn't clump. You can mix it
That's the best part.
very easily. Yes, there's no artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, sweeteners. It's also gluten-free, which you love, and non-GMO, and it's free of hormone and antibiotics.
So I have so enjoyed using BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen Supplements, and I know you will too. Here's what I want you to do. Go to biotrust.com/binge and get your special offer of up to 51% off today.
You'll also get free shipping on your order and support from a personal health and fitness coach to work with, and they will share their expertise with you. So go to biotrust.com/binge, BINGE, to get your special up to 51% off offer. And we want to thank BioTrust for sponsoring this episode of What Women Binge. We are here at What Women Binge with our dear friend, Patricia Heaton. We're so excited you're here.
Thank you.
My first neighbor, my first friend in Nashville.
Yes.
It was so crazy. You reached out to me on Instagram DM, I think.
Yes, because I saw that you were saying goodbye to your neighbors and you were coming to Nashville. I was like, oh my God, where are you? And then it turns out we're literally down the street from
Literally
each
down
other.
the street.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And so we've gotten together and done walks and had dinners and with the
breakfasts
husbands and breakfasts and long talks and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been so fun. I'm so glad.
And that
you were
makes
here.
the transition easier, right? When you know you have somebody, and then I meet your friends, and then
here
we
we are.
have all mutual.
Yes, and I'm going to steal your trainer.
Yeah. You're gonna steal my
Lots of
trainer.
good
We
stuff.
are
Yeah.
going
We are going to steal
Yeah.
your trainer. We're going to have her on here too.
Yeah.
You made it so easy for me moving here, knowing that I had you around the corner, that I had a new friend, and that and also in our industry, it's so hard when you move somewhere and you make friends and Amanda, and then I have to leave all the time. And sometimes people don't make room for you in their life again when you come back to town after being gone for weeks at a time.
Yes.
So the fact that we both have that in common.
Right. Yes. And with some of our other friends too who are coming back and forth, they're going off to work and coming back here. It's great. Yeah.
It's nice that you can you're all right, that we have this transient circus life.
Yes.
And so sometimes luckily Amanda always made room for me when I came back into town. But some people are they've moved on. They have other plans. They forget about, out of sight, out of mind a little bit.
Yeah.
But and that's why I love Amanda too, because she always made sure that we went for long walks and had our lunches and stuff.
Yeah.
I love all that with the girls.
Yes. It's so much easier for women to do that.
Yes.
We are such social beings.
I'm
right?
glad that my husband Dave and Mark went golfing together.
Yes.
Yes, finally,
Yes.
right?
There's
Yes.
a lot
They
of
need to
that
do
that
more
is
of that, but it's
hooking
harder
the
for
husbands
men.
up
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
I know. The husbands, they have such a hard time. I can't get my husband to tell me what's going on tomorrow. He forgets to put things in the calendar. He doesn't tell me things, or he thinks he told me things. He swears he tells me things. Maybe he does. I don't think he does. But the men just don't communicate. I get so many phone calls to me or text messages. Hey, can you have Mark call me? Because are we still getting together tomorrow for blah, 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 blah. And it's so hard. I feel like every time we're together, Patty, we're we got to get our husbands together. Let's make them, hang out more and that kind of thing. They're just not good at it.
Right. Well, they need to be doing something.
Yeah.
So they don't have to look at each other.
They can't sit
men
and
in
have
general.
lunch
No, they
for
don't
2
sit and
hours.
press and talk to each other. They both
Sip
have to
on
be
tea.
focusing on the golf ball or a game.
We'll get him over backgammon or
Yeah,
something.
yes.
Let's do that.
Right, yeah.
That's my favorite board game, I think.
Logan and Mark actually bonded over Top Golf. Sounds like
Top Golf.
is the
Is that a
key.
video thing?
Oh no, it's
like a.
oh, Dave would
it is
love
a
it.
game. Actually,
Like a
there's a
video
mandate
game?
for you for them to go on. Actually,
Yes, a total
no.
mandate.
So it's a thing you go. It's like
not
a
a
golf
mask
range,
mandate, like a different kind of mandate.
but there's games involved that aren't just hitting the ball. Like there's targets and
Where is it? A place you go
Yeah.
to do it?
Yeah, and there's like numerous levels, so you're just like it's like a driving range with food and.
Oh, cool.
I've
Where
tried to
is
do
that?
it a few times.
Is it here?
downtown.
There's one in like every city now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's one in Vegas, but there's one.
I would
here.
like to do that. I think.
I would actually. I tried last year during like Father's Day and then Mark's birthday in September, which was also Labor Day. So
Right.
I was like, well, but yeah, of course they're like, we're full. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, someday.
Yeah.
Someday when it's like a random Tuesday.
we
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have a
yeah.
girls' night at Top Golf.
We should do that.
I've never golfed actually. I have a feeling I'd be horrible at it, but I'm
Maybe,
willing to
but
try.
it'd be
Beginner's luck. I mean, man, I like when I do things not knowing what I'm supposed to do and I get a little bit of direction, I'm pretty good at
Yeah.
it in the beginning. And then it's when I start to try to think too hard.
Right, and try to improve
like
everything.
bowling.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
My wrist gets tired and by like, round 5 or whatever you call it, what is it called? Like, anyway, by the
Yes.
time you get to like the 5th frame,
Yes.
I'm like, my wrist hurts and all of a sudden they're all gutter balls. But before that, I'm like 3 strikes. Woohoo, turkey.
I just get up there and Happy Gilmore that like
Yes.
as long as
Still
it's
running up like you're a hockey player. I love it.
Right.
I love it. Oh my gosh, we have to get into so much stuff. We have to talk about what you're into, but the fans at home, of course, and us, we're fans. So we
Yes.
want to hear about all your things. So,
Okay.
oh my gosh, I have read your book, listened to one on audio, read one. I read my second act, and I loved the stories in there, and just hearing you transition into what you called your second act, and I feel like I'm borderline there now, and so that was like I'm trying to figure out what my second act is.
Well, I mean, as I've said to you before, you have like 15 acts so far under your belt. So I'm
lived
trying
many
to catch up
lives.
to you. No, I literally like people. I like know 2 casting directors in Hollywood because I've only done like 2 shows, but they both ran
you
for
did
9
like
years.
4 or 5. You were on
Well,
30 something.
Yeah, I did have
right.
people
The longest running shows in
Yes.
Hollywood.
No, people don't realize that Raymond was my 4th sitcom.
Yeah.
So I had like 3 failed ones before then, which were all a lot of fun. One of the most fun ones was called Women of the House, but it was a spin-off from Designing Women, where Delta
Oh.
Burke's character became her Congress husband dies, and so she
remember
takes
this.
over his seat.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun. And Linda Bloodworth Thomason wrote it. And those women were really a blast. Terry Garr, one of the most hilarious people. Here's my funny story that I told Terry Garr while we were sitting in the hair and makeup trailer. I said, Terry, you probably don't remember me, but I was a room service waitress at the Parker Meridian Hotel in New York from 6 a.m. till noon. And I got in an elevator and you were in the elevator. And I was in my little French maid waitress outfit. And I think you had just done Tootsie. I think you were doing press for Tootsie. And I just remember standing next to you. I may have said hi to you. And I said, so what I'm trying to figure out is, am I now on my way up or are you on your way down? Like, where are we as we're sitting in these makeup chairs together?
We're back in the elevator.
That's awesome.
But, it was funny because at that survival gig, I also met Dustin Hoffman and John Cougar Mellencamp, who I called John Cougar Underpants because that's how he would answer the door when you brought his coffee. No robe, just underpants. Same with John
Is that what
Denver.
inspired
God
your
rest
oldest
his soul.
son in the middle?
Yeah, that's exactly Axel. We got free tickets to the Stevie Wonder concert at Carnegie Hall because one of the other room service waiters went up, Manny, and just said, Mr. Wonder, I'm a big fan of yours. And Stevie gave him 12 tickets in the second row. And all of us from room service got to come and see his concert.
No way.
Yes. So some of those survival gigs were really fun because,
Yeah.
you were young, you're in your 20s, you don't have any obligations. You're just,
Well, that's you.
this was New York in the 80s.
Like, and your story is so amazing how this is what you always wanted to do. It was so clear to you, right? That
Yes.
like, this is from like 4 years old and on,
Yes.
like, this is what you want to do. And you were one of those working actors that like, you kept at it and you supplemented your income in other ways until you got
Made it.
there.
Yes.
Until it was like go time and you were in it. And I love that your husband too, that you guys like support each other through your careers and you go back to like, well, you want to tell some of your like earlier stories?
Yeah, I mean, I was in New York for 9 years after graduating from Ohio State, moved right to New York. And I had a bunch of different jobs. I worked in this little empanada shop, and then that person owned an Argentinian Italian restaurant, so I became a hostess there. I modeled shoes every four times a year for the shoe show that came into New York. That job.
Oh my gosh, you can't trip doing that.
Huh? Oh, well, you got to buy all the samples.
You did?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Makes sense. They fit you.
Yes, and because you
work
were a
for
size
me.
6, because you had to be a size 6.
I'm
that
a
was
12.
that was the
we
sample
should swap
size.
shoes.
Yes.
I don't. Amanda,
Are you a 6?
I'm a 6.
Oh, okay.
Shoes are God's way of keeping
Amanda-
me frugal. I have gigantic feet.
Right. Yeah.
But you have a purse collection that.
Oh, I have a handbag collection that was.
Yes.
Okay. But that shoe modeling got me my first trip to Italy because they needed someone to go and do fit corrections in the factories. So I went over right around Christmas time.
That is awesome.
And I was in Rome, Milan, and Perugia, and they put you up in these fantastic,
Wow.
palazzos. I mean, it was amazing.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the gal that sent me over said, "Don't worry, everybody there speaks English." Nobody spoke English. Thankfully, I had my little, this is back before cell phones or anything. I had a little translating book.
Little book.
Yes.
So you could flip through it.
Yes.
You're like,
oh my gosh. And I had to be taking trains by myself to these different cities. And, so, no, I had, pursuing that acting career, opened me up to a lot of adventures and meeting a lot of different people. I ran the Xerox machine at People magazine for a couple of years.
wow.
Yeah. And
Well, you would imagine that all those experiences. I mean, as actors, we want to slide into different skins and personalities and bodies.
Well, William Esper was my acting teacher in New York for 2 years. He taught Meisner technique. And when we finished the 2-year program, he said, okay, now what you need to do is go out and live because you need experiences to understand, to have something to bring to these characters.
pull from,
Yeah, because we were all in our 20s. And he said, you need to go out and just live. And so, even running the Xerox machine at People magazine was really, really fun. Those were back in the days when corporations were spending wildly. So they would always have these, what they called pours at the conference room at the end of the hallway, which would mean they would pour champagne and they'd find any excuse to have a pour. So a birthday, somebody got a new necktie.
Oh, we should do that. We should have pours here.
But there was,
We should definitely
have pours. But there was one day where F. Murray Abraham came in because he had done an interview for People magazine, and then right after that won the Oscar for Amadeus.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so
That's a pour.
So they had
event.
a big pour. They had a big cake for him and champagne, and he came off the elevator, and he had one of those Red Apple grocery bags. Remember Red Apple grocery stores?
Yeah.
And he comes in with a grocery bag, and he pulls his Oscar out of the grocery bag. And we all got to hold it. He was so lovely. He's such a kind, lovely, wonderful man.
Brilliant.
And what was really fun is years later, once I'd been on Raymond for a while, I got a call from the editor at People. He said, if you're coming to New York, I'd like to take you to lunch. And I'm like, oh, that would be great. And so we had lunch at the 21 Club, and we go down into the basement, and it's this special private, wine room, private dining area. Mm-hmm. And there's all these other people from the magazine there. And I was like, who is this for? And he goes, it's for you. And I was like,
You got a
what?
pour?
Yes. I had a whole lunch at the 21 Club.
I love it.
And I was
You got
so
lots of
taken aback
pours.
because I was the one always taking it. One of my jobs, along with running the Xerox machine, was running around taking everybody's dinner orders. On the night, every Tuesday, we'd put the magazine to bed, which would sometimes end at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So you'd have to take everybody's dinner orders. And,
wow.
And there were all those people there whose orders I
And now,
used
have
to
you
take.
been in it more than the days you worked there?
I think
Probably
I've been in
so.
it maybe twice. Yeah.
No, I'm
Yes.
sure you've been in
No.
a lot more than that. Wait, we don't have pours here, but we do have fuzzy socks. Do you want a pair of fuzzy socks?
Yes, I'd love a pair.
Do you wanna
of I like the black one with the heart right there. Yep, that's the one.
Keeping it easy.
Thank you.
They might be attached here.
Oh, look, and they're kind
Pulled
of
a little-
sparkly.
There you go. And they got
She's
the grips
got
on the
pretty
bottom.
shoes on,
They got
so-
Oh, fabulous.
We'll leave it up to
won't
you if you want to
slip.
wear them. But either way, they're
I'm
yours.
going to wear them as mittens.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Keep your hands
My
warm.
bracelets from clanging. Okay.
So,
Great.
okay, so I have to ask you. So, so you went through all the, you really what's the term? Not earned your keep, but you really
Yeah.
worked through
Paid your dues.
paid your
Paid your
dues in
dues.
order to get to where you were wanting to be. What was the moment when you knew that you had or what's the purchase that you made, or what's the first time you were like, okay, I've made it, or I'm good, or I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yes. I was in New York for 9 years and basically couldn't get arrested. I think I did 2 commercials. And then when I finished my acting classes, we formed a theater company, produced a play. Produced 2 plays. I was in one of them. I took that play to L.A. and then produced it in L.A. and I invited casting directors to come. So I come to L.A. I'm 29. No real resume to speak of, except for the one play I produced to put myself in, and 2 commercials.
You got to start somewhere.
I didn't have a car. I had maybe $5,000 in the bank. And I was staying at my cousin's girlfriend's mother's back bedroom in West Hollywood. And, all my friends back in Ohio had cars, homes, kids, pets, jobs. But I just thought I'm going to give it a couple more years here, and then I might have to go back to school and do something because it wasn't seeming to go anywhere. I invited casting directors to this play. So I took that $5,000. I think I'd gotten it from residuals from a Pabst Blue Ribbon beer commercial.
Nice. Thank you, Pabst.
I rented a little theater. We just put the same show on because I'd gotten great reviews in New York. And brought these casting directors in. And so I started getting interviews and little jobs, day player stuff, from these casting directors coming to see this play. And then I was proofreading for a law firm, doing a proofreading, summarizing depositions for a law firm. And somebody who was also a temp was saying, hey, I'm doing this play and the lead actress dropped out, and can you come and take the part?
Oh, wow.
And I read the part and I was like, this is a fabulous role. So I learned it in 2 weeks and got more casting people to come. And from there, I started getting work. I got a couple episodes of 30-something. It was one episode, and then as a OBGYN, and then they hired me to be the OBGYN for all the women characters on the show.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I ended up doing 7 episodes of that. And
always delivering babies?
Delivering babies and telling them bad cancer news and things like that.
Feet and stirrups, a lot of that.
Yes, a lot of that. And I remember the first audition, I wasn't sure how to say epidural because I hadn't had any kids yet. Now I'm very familiar with epidurals. But
how did you say it?
I just asked him. I said, how do you pronounce
what is this
word? Yes. But it was interesting because that audition, it was Ed Zwick and Marshall Herskowitz, 2 incredible writer-producers. And after the audition, I was literally just doing this straight doctor. I was sort of imitating my OBGYN, who was Japanese and very just dry and strict. And they just, after the audition, they said, you are exactly like my wife's OB.
Oh, my gosh.
And they said, where did you come from?
Oh, no.
Yeah, they said, where did you come from? And I was like, I just moved here from New York. And they're like, okay. And they called me later and wanted to know all about my background. And I ended up doing 7 episodes.
Wow.
And that really, because that was the hot show to be on at the time. And I didn't even have an agent then. Oh my gosh. So people were like, how did you get on that show? And I'm like, I don't know. The casting director saw me and then hired me.
Wow.
So
did you get a car then?
I did get a car. I got my first car was a 74 Toyota Corolla with a faulty starter.
Oh.
And when I was on, my first big sitcom was with Linda Lavin called Room for Two. And it was at Warner Brothers. And I would drive this car. And at that time, they didn't have parking. They had the valettes. They had these valet girls. So you'd drop your car off to the valets. And they would take it and go park it for you. And at the end of every day, I'd be back there waiting. And they would come running up and they'd say, we can't get your car started.
Only you could start it. That's a good security, right? Only you can start your car.
I mean, it was such a little piece of junk, but it was like my piece of junk. It was my first car.
Oh my gosh.
And I eventually traded into a Honda Accord. That was, and my husband and I shared it. We had one car between us. We did everything.
Wait, when did you guys meet and when did you get married?
We met in New York. I had been living in Hoboken, but I wanted to move back into the city to be closer to the guy I was dating at the time. So I sublet my husband's apartment to be closer to the guy I was dating.
Oh.
Because Dave was going off to do some Shakespeare in Baltimore.
Okay.
And it wasn't really an apartment, I found out. It was one room in an Upper West Side pre-war, huge apartment with 3 other guys living there.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
But
that's one way to meet a boyfriend.
There you go.
So I took it. My husband went off to Baltimore, but he kept calling me under the guise of like the phone bill or the rent or something.
Oh yeah.
And then
He was smitten.
he was smitten.
Dave smitten.
I was a little smitten because he was British.
Yes, he has
Oh,
a
that
fantastic
accent.
accent.
Yeah.
And he's very handsome.
Yes, and he's handsome. I was kind of trepidatious about actors, but was sure he was the wrong guy. Cried all the way down the aisle. Knew I was making a mistake. Yeah, people were like,
Meanwhile,
your wedding was amazing. It was so beautiful. You were so emotional. I'm like, yeah, I think
I was terrified.
Mistake.
I was terrified. But meanwhile, four boys and
Four
many
boys
decades
and 30
later.
some years later. Yeah, 30 years later.
It's all working out okay for you.
I think so. Every anniversary we turn to each other and go like,
We're still together?
yeah, like this is enough, right? Like anything we're going to learn about each other now is going to be stuff like, what's that thing on your back?
So that brings us back to your most recent show.
Yes.
Oh, well, first I have to tell you. First of all, I was a fan of Everybody Loves Raymond,
Yes.
even though you guys caused a lot of grief for us on Sabrina.
We did.
Not really, but we
We
shared.
had a lot of hair and makeup.
We shared
big
hair and
comment.
makeup people.
Yes,
Yeah. And then I
Ralphie.
realized you took Ralph. Yeah, Ralph was our fantastic
Yes,
hairdresser.
He's amazing.
He did the aunties on my show. He
Yes,
did Caroline and Beth.
that's right.
And then, and so your show was taping on Tuesday nights, and we taped Wednesday. Well, so you did Monday, Tuesday, right?
Right.
And we
We
did
did
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday,
Thursday.
Friday. So it
Right.
was lucky.
Yes.
We didn't do a live show, so we taped all day Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I just remember, Ralph, your hairdresser, who then went on to do the middle with you, right?
Or
at least the pilot.
Did part of the
Okay,
yeah.
so and then he went on to do like 2.5 Men and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to do my hair at my wedding,
Oh.
and I bought him and his husband tickets to Italy to come get me ready. And he's like one of my best friends. And then Ray was doing a movie in Canada, and the movie went long, and he was like, "I have to stay with Ray." And I said, "It's a guy, and it's his hair." He goes, "But it's Ray, and he won't let me leave." And he didn't come to my wedding, and it was like devastating for me. I was like, "Where's my hairdresser at my wedding?" Because Ray needed him more than I did apparently on my wedding day.
Right.
But so we shared a lot of the same people. Erin,
Yes.
still my bestie.
Yes.
We have
Was
to have her
Suzanne
here.
on
She's-
there? Suzanne.
Yeah, Suzanne was
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
A lot of the same people.
Yes.
And probably a lot of the same, like, I feel like we probably had rotating directors and
Yes.
cast members and things like that too. I
Yes.
feel like there was a lot of kind of crossover. But then I just have to mention, because my favorite episode, and we were talking about it before we stepped in here, the big fork and spoon
Yes.
episode.
Yes. That was the suitcase episode.
The
I
suitcase
think.
episode.
Yeah, where we leave the suitcase on the
You
landing.
guys come back from a vacation and the
Yes.
suitcase is sitting on the landing. It's like such the quintessential married problem.
Yes. Who's
like
going to
this-
bring the suitcase up?
The stupid thing that nobody
Nobody
wants to do, and you feel like the other person should do it, and they
Yes.
won't do it, and you keep stepping over it, and it
Yes.
becomes like this bitter rivalry thing.
Yes.
If you at home have not seen this episode, you've got to watch it because it's so
And
funny.
Tucker Cawley won an Emmy for writing that episode.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
It's so funny because of all the episodes I've seen, that one always stood out to me, and I actually watched it again a few weeks ago. So I was like, I got to watch that episode again.
It's a great one.
Because at the end, and Doris Roberts.
Doris
so we
Roberts.
had Doris came on and was played Joey Lawrence's grandma on my show, Melissa and Joey, and I got to work with her for 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And right at the
Before she
end,
passed,
and
yeah.
she was just a doll.
Yes.
Loved.
Well,
working with
she's
her.
one of those great old showbiz broads. You know, she started out in New York early on doing theater, and she's just like a old tough. Like she drank more champagne than anybody. Like, and she was always going on cruises. You know, and speaking on cruises. And
So that was her personality.
yes,
I love
yes.
it.
And Catherine Hellman played my mom.
Oh my gosh, I did a movie with her in 1986.
Isn't she amazing?
Yeah.
The most elegant
I
woman.
think she was on Melissa and Joey too. I can't remember. I think she might have played my grandma.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Every day at rehearsal, she'd show up beautifully coiffed, beautifully dressed, and she came across as kind of genteel, but she also was one of these really hard working all her life, like Betty White, like all, I mean, it's just Georgia Engel was on our show playing Brad's mother-in-law, Robert's mother-in-law, and, she's also passed now. But I just got to work with all these older women.
It's amazing.
Yes,
it's
amazing.
And then you also had to work with kids, which is not easy.
Right, yeah. And on Raymond, our kids were sort of not a huge part of the show. It was really more about the adults. But on the middle,
When they were around, there was 3 of them, right? They're like running all.
yes,
like,
right, yeah.
It's like it feels like all or nothing.
Right,
yes, that's
yes.
what she's got. She's got the twins
Yes.
and an older
I relate
son, so,
Yes.
fully.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, it was, but they were wonderful kids. And then on the middle, those kids also were just fantastic
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah.
I mean, for so young.
And the thing about kids on set, the good thing about them is their memory can be so sharp. If they're focused, if they're not like fully like,
Yes.
what's that shiny thing over there? If they're actually focused, the kids will tell you your lines.
Yes.
I used to do it myself when I was a
Well,
kid. acting.
I remember sitting in the makeup trailer and I had been up the night before because there's no rehearsal on a single camera show. You
Yeah.
go in, you have a little blocking rehearsal, and then you just go back in the makeup trailer and memorize your lines. Well, I was doing mine the night before just to try to get it in my bones.
Yeah, I have to do it the night before.
Yes,
I cannot
just-
do it the day of.
No.
I panic.
Especially because then you're adding in your, whatever business and blocking and stuff. I would come in and there would be lovely Eden, Cher, who played Sue, clearly kind of perusing for the first time. I would be like, how do you do it? And then she had monologues. She had these long speeches and she would just right through.
Yeah, that's the good thing. The child's brain
Yes.
memory of an elephant.
Yes.
That's the opposite. Memory of an elephant's not supposed to be good.
Yo, it is good.
Oh, it is good.
Yeah.
But they would, they just like, I remember there's so many stories of like, I think Shirley Temple and Lionel Barrymore, like where she's telling him his lines and, feeding these adults their lines. And it happens all the time. And it's, even though it's annoying, it's kind of one of the best things about them is that the kids remember that stuff.
And I used to be that even when I was in my, 20s and 30s. I was really good. If they changed the lines, if they changed the blocking, I could do it so quickly. And now I have to work a lot harder at it. And I don't know if I think part of it is that fire.
Yeah.
You had that fire when you were young that's
Yeah.
just so intense. And then
Well, you also don't have a lot of stuff clouding your brain.
you're-
You
that
kind of
was
just
before
like
kids.
Oh, your brain is like if your brain's clear.
Yes.
You're like there's room for that in there. You have to like
Yes.
delete a lot of crap in order to like.
That's right.
What do I have
Children
to
eat
put in the
the
diaper
brain.
bag?
It's
What do
gone.
I? Yeah. When's
Yes.
their doctor's appointment? Did they get the DTaP vaccine? Did they?
Right.
like-
Exactly. And then now with phones, you're clogging up your brain with just a lot of useless
a lot of
crap.
crap. All the stuff we know on TikTok.
Yes, the scrolling.
What are you scrolling on TikTok?
What am I? Okay, well, because of the Chinese, I don't do TikTok.
She doesn't want to be tracked, guys.
When we read Carol's second act, and all the that was right when TikTok came out, and all the younger actors, of course, are all doing their TikToks. And I was like, hey, kids, the Chinese are tracking you on TikTok. That's why I'm not doing TikTok. Don't do the TikToks.
Did Doris do that kind of stuff to you? And now you're doing it to them.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like trickle down.
Yes, yeah. Well, who else was a great mentor to me is Linda Lavin, who's working all the time. And she played my mom on my first sitcom on it was her sitcom, Room for Two. And she was such a great, and still is a great mentor to me. She taught me all about real estate, and just how to be on a set, So I feel like now I'm sort of that older person on set, which is interesting.
Isn't it weird? It shifts so quickly. I went from being like the youngest on set to even with the crew. All of a sudden, I'm like,
Yes.
Now I go on set and I'm like, I'm kind of the oldest person here, unless Ed Bigley Jr. is with me. Like, this is weird.
right.
Am I supposed to know everything? Am I supposed to pass down wisdom? Because I
just
don't.
need to take Ed Begley Jr. with you
Everywhere
now,
I go,
so you're
I
not
try.
always the
I try.
oldest.
You know what? I do a lot of Young Sheldon, and then he was in a movie. I made him play my dad in a movie. I was like, I do kind of drag him everywhere I can with me.
Well, he's the loveliest person to have around too.
Seriously is.
Yes,
and
he's
if
a
you don't
very
know about his
sweet
career,
person.
go check it out because oh my gosh, he's
Yes.
amazing. And then I have to say, I never really. I mean, the middle, you did like 261 episodes, or something, like a lot of
crazy,
episodes.
yeah.
And I had never seen it before, but Amanda
it's
was
hilarious.
raving about it. And since you were coming in, I was like, I got to check it out. I couldn't stop watching it last night, and it is. I didn't realize how much I'd relate to it.
Yeah, because that's not really your childhood, right?
No, but like, well, no, I did have a pretty. I had a pretty like actually you and I because I've read your books.
Yeah.
Had a pretty similar childhood. So you and I because when I was reading your books, I figured that you and I had like a lot of that sort of like playing in the streets,
Yes.
like a little bit of free
Until the
range.
lights came on.
Until the lights came on,
Yeah.
a little bit of like like that like getting dirty and also seasons and things like that. Like
Yes.
you grew up in Ohio where like you were saying in your book.
Yeah.
Like deep winters and like
Yes.
beautiful springs and like beautiful falls and then like hot summers with fireflies. You guys used to
Yes.
go around and smack the fireflies. So I kind of had that upbringing. So I do relate to the middle more than I ever thought I would.
Yes.
Because, I mean, first of all, I was shocked by the oldest son, your oldest son in it. And like,
Isn't he brilliant?
it's so, it's such a funny, it's
Yes,
so,
Charlie McDermott playing Axel.
my son Mason is exactly like
Yes.
Axel. It is insane. He walks around half naked.
Right.
It's all about football. He's always making fun of his little brothers and sisters.
Yeah, he
like,
thinks he's
brothers
smarter
and
than
like-
everybody.
Yeah, it's so. And then I have the middle one who we kind of can't figure out what he's good at. Kind of can't figure out.
right.
And then that's the other thing you and I have in common is we're both boy moms.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
boy moms. There's a serious thing with
Yes.
boy moms, man. It's there's a connection there because
Well, and they talk about that a lot on the middle, and Frankie talks a lot about, like for holidays, the boy goes to the girl's house for the holiday. Like we have, our kids aren't married yet. Obviously, they're too young, but you're going to have to give them up on the holidays.
I'm so afraid. I like literally when I had 3 boys, I kind of went, okay, never going to be mother of the bride, probably never going to be present for a baby being born, like one of my grandkids, unless I'm really close with my daughter-in-laws.
Just be super nice to them.
Super nice. Oh, I'm already planning how I'm going to be as a mother-in-law. Oh, let me tell you, I'm taking notes. And and like the whole like, the wife always kind of dictates where you live. I mean,
Yes.
I'm a special circumstance where my husband dragged me to Nashville, but
Right.
Thank God.
thank God, right, Amanda? Right, Patty?
Yes.
I mean, that's why we're all here. But it's funny because it's usually the other way around, right? And I'm like figuring my sons are going to go wherever their wives
Right.
drag them. So
Yes.
it's
I don't know. You never know. I followed my husband here.
yeah.
So, I mean,
He had some pretty deep-seated family stuff you had to,
well, no, actually, he was here on his own when we first met.
yeah?
He was doing,
Oh, the family all followed him.
yeah, they all came here after we had children.
That's good. I guess that shows. So if you raise strong boys, maybe they'll stay nearby.
Maybe. I don't know. My in-laws are my neighbors. So,
My brother moved into my childhood home, so
Raymond.
yes, honestly, yes. But
it is.
with a much less volatile relationship between them.
Right.
But yes.
But those just aren't funny, Amanda.
I know.
A nice
I
relationship
know.
with your in-laws is not funny.
My in-laws were already here this morning. Patty got to meet them.
We saw them running around outside. So then you did Carol's second act.
Mhm. Only went for a year.
Oh, it was only 1 year?
Yeah, only 1 year.
But it was on network, so you did a lot of episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it 24?
No, I think we only did 18.
18?
Yeah. They're getting fewer episodes.
Everyone's ordering less. Nobody's
Yes.
developing anymore, and that's
Yeah.
the sad part about sitcom stuff.
Yeah.
But we have to circle back to your TikTok real quick because I think you didn't let us into what you're on your TikTok.
I don't
it's
do
not on
TikTok.
TikTok.
Oh, sorry,
I
your
do
Instagram.
Yeah.
I
Well,
knew that because
we all
that's-
talked about how much, in this day and age, you need to find soothing things
Yes.
on your social media. So, of course, Dodo for all your animal
Yes.
videos.
Give me all of the cheesy animal.
Yeah,
I don't
You're
know.
not on the
I don't
Dodo?
do animal
Oh,
videos.
It's like pandas falling over. There's a
lot of rescues.
yes, and the groundhog
Before and after
that lived in the
rescue.
garden.
Oh, I didn't
Did you see
that
that?
one, but I
Oh.
saw the woman who made friends with a wingless bumblebee.
Oh,
They literally were friends.
these are my people.
How did they know it was wingless?
Because you could see it. She
Oh my
realized
gosh.
that the bee didn't have any wings.
Wow.
So they became pals, and she took care of it until
There's
it
like
died.
Bee Movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bee Movie?
Oh, I loved.
But there's one called Tiny Gentle Asians, and it's all very chubby Asian babies.
Oh my gosh.
So they like rolls of fat
love
on
it.
their legs. And I'm sort of addicted to babies. So
Well, yeah, you had 4.
I had 4. I should have had more, but I started too late. And I'm one of 5.
You're Catholic.
Yes, my mother is.
It's in the
the other thing
genes,
we have in
guys.
common.
my
It's
mother.
in the
My
genes.
mother is one of 15 children.
Stop
Stop
right. You
it.
said that. in your book.
Yes.
15.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So there's like 100 first cousins on my mom's side.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because all 15.
Oh, that's
got
how you
married and
ended
had
up-
between 5 and 10.
There's a story where you end up picking up.
Yeah,
you see a
hitchhiker.
a
It was my
hitchhiker
cousin.
and
How
it's
do
your
you-
cousin.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, you don't. You just hope you don't marry him. That's why my husband.
Can we get a blood test first?
that I had to marry someone out of the country to make sure I wasn't marrying a relative.
That is true.
Yes.
That is funny.
Amazing.
Yes, that is funny.
Yeah.
We're all sick of this pandemic, right? We've been locked in, we've been masked up, we've been getting through it. But the one thing everybody kind of has in common right now is we all could use a little help in the mental health department, don't you think?
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people are stretched thin. I know a lot of therapists are stretched thin. So it's really hard right now to even get an appointment with a therapist. So there is something really great that can help out, right, Amanda?
Yes, our sponsor, BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P.
And if you go to betterhelp.com/WWB, they will help assess your needs and match you to your own licensed therapist, professional therapist. You'll be connected in a safe and private online environment, so convenient, and you can start communicating in under 48 hours once you reach out.
It's amazing. If you are struggling in any way or just need additional support for, a variety of things, they handle depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, anger, self-esteem.
Grief. Yeah, the family conflicts, I love that one. Sleeping, if you have problems with sleeping, you can call them. And I want you to start living a happier lifestyle today. And as a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor, betterhelp.com, help, that's HELP.com/WWB. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, it's BetterHelp, HELP.com/WWB. And work right now with affordable, convenient, professional, I'm going to say that again, a professional counselor online securely.
It's amazing.
So many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So one more time, go to BetterHelp, HELP.com/WWB to get 10% off your first month. And thank you, BetterHelp, for being an awesome sponsor of What Women Binge. Amanda,
Yes.
what food is in your freezer that you love to pull out, like on the daily?
This one's easy. It's Splendid Spoon.
I knew it.
It's the smoothies, it's the bowls, it's the soups.
I love the wellness shots. It's just an easy thing.
It's always there.
Heat it on up.
4 minutes in the microwave and you have a meal that's not only nutritious, it's filling, and you know it's good for you because they're all plant-based.
It's delicious. Plant-based, gluten-free, and ready-made, delivered right to your door. Saves you a trip to the grocery store, which is awesome.
Yes. And when I'm home by myself, when my kids are at school, it is the perfect lunch and breakfast. Honestly, I was disappointed this morning that I forgot to pull my smoothie out of the freezer to put it in the fridge for today. So I'm going home to a smoothie this afternoon.
You can have your smoothie this afternoon. No, I love it. They offer 4 starting plans. Their most popular is a signature plan that includes breakfast, lunch, and a signature reset product, which is perfect when we get off track in our wellness journey and overindulge in high-calorie, nutrient-depleted foods. The reset soups are low in calories, yet contain vitamins and minerals and are easy on your tummy.
And they're delicious.
They are.
They're so good.
They fill you up. They're the right portion. Healthy food can get a bad rep, but these meals are actually delicious.
Yes, and Splendid Spoon believes in plant-based eating as the single most effective tool we have to feel our best day in and day out. When you make a habit out of plant-based eating, it allows you to be the best version of yourself, with the side benefits of more energy, weight loss, improved sleep, and better skin.
I feel that when I eat good foods, you crave more. Like you crave whatever you put in your body.
Exactly.
So if you eat more of these kinds of foods, you're going to feel better. You're going to sleep better. It's all going to come together. So you want to save $35 on your first order? Well, we're going to give you the code to do that. It's splendidspoon.com/binge35. That's how you get started and save $35 on your first order.
Yep, that's splendidspoon.com/binge35 to save $35 on your first order. And that's only $6.66 per meal.
That's great. Well,
I
thank
know,
you,
it's such a good
Splendid
deal.
Spoon. We love you for sponsoring this podcast of What Women Binge. So tell us, what are you into right now? What are you is there a TV show you're really into?
Ozark just came back on.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the final 4th season. And they usually did sort of like 7 or 8 episodes. They've done 14, and so they've split it into 2. So we've watched the first 7.
Okay.
And binged it.
So Mark and I couldn't get into it.
Well, it's very violent. I have to warn any of your viewers.
I'm not worried about violence, but I guess, you know what? Mark has a hard time with people that don't redeem themselves, like House of Cards he had to give up on early and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I wonder if I could watch it alone.
Succession.
No, he's not digging it. But he loves things like Suits and Blue Bloods, and I feel like
I feel like he would probably like Succession.
White Collar.
No, I think Succession is an acquired taste because I
not for me.
remember watching it at the beginning and going, what is this show? I wasn't getting it because it's this very weird, dark satire.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wasn't getting that at first. I'm like, I said to Dave, is this a comedy or a drama? I can't tell what it is. But once I got the hang of it, it was completely addictive. And
You and
it's
Logan
like
are going to get
beets.
along
It takes
so
you like
well.
a little while to get to really like the taste of beets, right? It's like one of those things. Like
Yes, actually,
yeah,
that is true.
an acquired taste.
have you acquired that taste? Because
Beets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something about my 30s, or maybe it was my pregnancy
Yes.
when I was like 36 that I was like,
My whole life I
beets.
was anti-beet, and here I am, and I actually roasted beets the other night.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
quick random beet story.
Yeah.
I went to New York when I was
I've got one too. Go ahead.
I went to this is actually not about beets, but funny enough is I'm in New York. It's my birthday. I think it's like my 37th birthday, and I'm pregnant with my third son, and all I wanted was a street dog. I just wanted a hot dog from a
Hart.
yeah. And my friends are like, you can't have a hot dog when you're pregnant. You can't have a hot dog, especially from a street vendor. You can't do that. You can't do that. And I was like, why not? So we go and I Google it, and I'm like, why can't you have a street dog? And it was like, well, partly if it's not boiled hot enough, but mainly it's the nitrates in it that everybody's worried about. But then I find out there's more nitrates in beets, like one beet. And I've been having beet salads every day. Than that one stupid hot dog. So I ate that hot dog.
Good.
Well, we had a juicer on the set of The Middle, and I remember someone making me a beet juice, and so I drank the beet juice, and then I'm in my trailer, and I'm like, I feel odd. I feel really odd.
Oh no.
And it
no.
literally my mouth filled. I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to throw up in my trailer. And I bet
it looked like blood.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was just it's very sugary beet juice, And so I think I just overdid it. I mean, my body, and I
that's the
have
only
not
juice
been
I
able
like.
to look at
Oh,
beet.
that would change
really?
things.
Oh.
Sure.
Beet juice is one of my
Totally.
favorites, though. You gotta mix it with little like apple and lemon, but like beet juice is like my favorite kind of juice.
I want to drink sweet
I love a little
dirt.
goat cheese on a beet salad.
That's what when I think of beet juice, I think of sweet dirt.
Yeah, it's got that
I kind of like it. I don't know why.
earthy
Yeah.
Earthy.
vibe.
That's how Secession
I like a
is,
beet,
right?
but-
Secession's
Yes.
a little bit like
a little
beets.
funky dirty.
Do you like the funky
Succession,
dirty?
I mean,
Or-
that show, that's also only going to come back for one more season.
So
I
wait,
think.
explain Ozark to me, because here's the thing, and maybe there's still a few people out there that feel the way I do. Like, we got into a few episodes of it, but I didn't really get the gist of what's going on. So can you just give me a little summary?
so Jason Bateman plays Marty Bird, and he is an accountant. But it turns out he's an accountant for a drug cartel.
Oh, does he doesn't know that?
I don't think
Drug
he
cartels
knows
keep
it.
books.
Yes, they do.
They have to.
They have to launder
Business.
right?
All right.
So I think his partner is the one that knew what was going on. I can't remember if the first season, if he actually understood that's what was happening. But it comes back to him, and a bunch of violence starts happening, and he and his wife, played by Laura Linney, who's amazing. Wendy, she plays Wendy. So Marty and Wendy take their two kids and they go to the Ozarks to start, because now
to
it's,
hide out?
if he doesn't keep laundering the money, he's going to get
Oh,
killed.
yeah.
So they flee Chicago and they go to the Ozarks, which nobody's done a show in the Ozarks before.
Yeah, it's kinda
I've
brilliant.
heard of the Ozarks, but and it's a huge vacation place. It's actually beautiful, but it's a little bit funky also.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And there's a lot of gambling
Earthy.
and stuff.
Earthy.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's earthy.
beets.
And so the family, and now the kids find out what their parents do, and now they're a bit complicit in it. But they have to do it.
Okay.
And they run
intrigued.
into
I'll watch it again. I'll try it again.
local mafia, like Kansas mafia. It's what I love about it is it's an environment you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And you take normal people, your average American, and you put them in this crazy situation.
So is it fish out of water in that way?
Yes, totally.
A little bit like it sounds a little bit like Breaking Bad, maybe.
A little bit
where
like Breaking Bad.
He has to do the
definitely
bad
has a
thing.
Breaking Bad vibe, which I also loved. And what's great about Laura Linney's character is she just turns into this monster.
Oh,
like a very
really?
cool, calculating monster.
Ooh.
So it's very great parts.
All right, you sold me on
But
it.
it's very violent, I have to say.
I'm okay with that. I did Game of Thrones, and they're putting people's heads on pikes and
Yes.
like
Right.
jabbing, like
Dark
brutally
is so
torturing.
hard for me because I would have to watch it during the day. Dark affects me way too much.
Amanda's
Yeah.
Amanda's sensitive.
Well, no, I
Amanda
get
likes her
that.
bright colors, and she's very, very creative.
Yes.
But she likes her happy. You like your
Things
Ted
stick
Lasso,
with
right?
me.
Well,
I
you know
feel
what I
things
was
big,
thinking about
you know?
the other day, because, we're all women of faith here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking it's very hard to do stories about good people and make them interesting.
Well, to be
You know,
honest,
You have to
it's
have
the dark
flaws,
ones.
and that's with the screenwriting course I just finished taking. I was learning a lot about like you can't fall in love with your characters, and you can't try to be nice to them. Like you have to be mean to them, and that's like you have to have the conflict. You have to
because
have the
life
flaw.
is mean. And
But Ted Lasso gets away with it in a way. I mean,
Yeah,
the
but
outside
he's-
world is sort of attacking the whole team, but the team sticks together in
Right.
a way. So, there's a few examples of that, but
I think you can be a positive person, but no matter what, there has to be conflict to make it interesting.
Conflict. That's right. Yeah.
And I mean, one of the things we talked about with like Succession is that they're all kind of garbage humans.
Yeah.
But they're so fun. My friend, we have a little text chain of gals, and my one friend said, well, I watched Yellowstone because everyone's watching it, but come on, it's like horrible people and violence. No thanks. And I was like, okay, look at Succession. Horrible people, violence. Yes, please.
It's funny. That's actually what I've been comparing it to when I was watching Succession. I was like, because I love Yellowstone, but I was like, Succession is like Yellowstone, except not set in the cowboy world. Like,
and minus the violence.
Right.
What, Yellowstone?
No.
Succession doesn't have quite the violence.
Yeah, that's true. They don't have the violence.
Yeah.
But Yellowstone has that crazy violence but you're kind of like, well, they're cowboys, so
right.
But they're cute.
Now,
they're
are you
sweaty.
watching 1883?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like that?
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm actually I didn't quite get through it yet, but it's like that one that's sitting there waiting for the time. Like, I feel like I have to be like wide awake. Like, I have to get to bed early to watch
be able
that
to
one.
focus.
Yeah, because it's really. I mean, Faith Hill and Tim McGraw are so good.
Yeah, they're very good.
Really are.
Yes.
But I'm loving that show, and I do. I'm
Sam,
a little late to get back to it.
Who's the other lead guy? Sam
Elliott. Sam Elliott.
I mean, that guy is such an iconic character actor.
That guy doesn't age. He's been the same age for he's kind of like Doris Roberts.
One of those people that has looked old for a very long time.
Just like Doris, just like 30. Betty White. Like these are people that like Doris played
Gene
a grandma.
Hackman has always looked older. Gene Hackman, right? They were character actors that have always kind of.
It's bizarre like that.
Big Lebowski was how many years ago?
Oh gosh,
and he hasn't aged.
And he hasn't aged. But that's what I always
ago.
thought that about Doris Roberts. Like when she was on Melissa and Joey, she looked no different than she did 30 years before on Christmas Vacation. You know, like
that's right.
You kind of she played the grandma her whole life, probably since she was 40.
Yes,
you know,
right.
So I get it. I feel like I could start playing the grandma soon.
Yeah.
Have you done grandma yet?
Yes, I just did a movie that's coming out in March called Unbreakable Boy.
Oh yes. Oh, you have to tell us about this
Zach
movie.
Levi.
Yeah.
And I'm.
You produced it?
No, I wasn't producer.
Oh, that wasn't the one you produced.
No, that
was
wasn't
the one you shot
I produced.
in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm now graduated to grandma roles.
Oh.
I mean, it's funny because I'm in the trailer, but literally I'm in the movie for a total of maybe 5 minutes, if 5.
Oh, really? Yes. Well, it's funny. I'm just starting to play the mom, strangely. I've been a mom for 16 years now myself, and I was a late mom.
Yes.
I was 30 when I had my first, just almost 30 when I had my first son. But it's funny because I never played a pregnant woman. I never played a mom of a baby. I've only been the mom of teenagers. In my show No Good Nick, I was a mom of teenagers, and I'm about to come out in a movie where I'm the mom of like 2 college kids and a teenager. And
Really?
I'm like, am I already there? I've never even been pregnant. But it's also the first movie where I get
just
to
skipped
die.
over that whole thing.
Yeah, I still have like my bucket list of things I haven't done. Like I haven't died.
Right.
I haven't. I was saying a few years ago that I'd never played a mom, but now in the last 5 years that's changed. I've never been pregnant. Yeah, I'll have to tick some of these off though.
Yeah.
Do you have any things that you haven't played yet?
Well, I always wanted to ride a horse in a movie, which you just did.
I just did. Yeah.
And so I did that for I think it was a TNT movie. And that was fun. It was really fun to take lessons. I mean, I had one scene where I rode a horse.
Well, when you have to it was interesting for me when I was doing the movie Mistletoe, Montana. I had to play a cowgirl, and in order to do that, I really wanted to be authentic on that horse, and so I had to get comfortable. I had to force myself. I mean, I thought I was going to die some days going out to ride, but I would say goodbye to Mark and the kids and be like, I don't know if I'll see you guys because this horse really doesn't like me. But like, I was trying my best to get comfortable, and it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good one. That was actually one of mine too, that I was like, someday. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the great thing
I'd
about
like to do like a period piece, that would be fun.
And even you get
Give me
a
the
nurse.
corset.
Yes.
Put me in a corset.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, they're so beautiful. Yes, but
they look fantastic,
Man.
but like they're
to talk
torture.
about it.
Yeah,
I
it is
want
hard
the
to-
boobs up to my chin.
I didn't wear my
I want
Spanx today because I didn't want to be squeezed.
yes, give me the waist, the big skirt.
Yes.
I actually did that's a story for another time. We'll talk about that another time. Wait, you were telling me about some podcasts that you liked, and I listened to some.
Yeah. So I am sort of eclectic. I listened to Tim Keller. He's the pastor from Redeemer Presbyterian.
You told me that one a while ago.
Yeah, so I listen to him every day.
Yeah.
And he he has over 2,000 sermons, and they're just all bloated on
And
his
he's got so
podcast.
many books, and he's
so many books. He's just
very
amazing.
inspiring, yeah.
He's just a wonderful guy to listen to. And then I'll listen to atheist Sam Harris because he has a lot
Balance.
of interesting.
Is that which one's Hidden Brain?
Hidden Brain is just its own kind of thing,
Oh, okay.
and that's all different aspects of the brain. Which
Sam
is really
Harris.
Sam Harris does Making Sense.
Okay, that's the one I just listened to.
Yeah.
That one I could not get in. I couldn't.
Well,
get
it
into.
depends on his guest. So he has a lot, like he's a neuroscientist, I
Yeah.
believe. So he has a lot of cool guys on who talk about psychology and neurology and that kind of stuff. So I love to listen to that kind of thing.
But then, so that's Hidden Brain is the one that you turned me on to. Because I started to listen to one of Sam Harris. I think it was about sleep or something. It was,
Yes.
And
yes, I listened to the sleep
did?
one. Yes.
But I don't know if it's his voice or whatnot. I got a little drowsy in the car and I had to change it.
Okay. One of the things I do love listening to Sam Harris for is he has this mellifluous voice that's kind of low. And if I'm trying to get to sleep,
Oh, it's good.
I'll put it on.
good.
And this is not to say to Sam Harris, your stuff puts me to sleep. I do find it interesting. But if I'm trying to get to sleep and I need that little thing,
Yeah.
It relaxes.
it relaxes
Sam Harris,
you. And
come get Patty to sleep.
yeah, well, you know,
Sing her some lullabies.
what's interesting, I
Whisper in
didn't
her ear.
realize that when you put the podcast on, there's a timer where you can set it to go off
What?
for 10 minutes or 20 minutes
Oh,
or...
I just started that on Instagram. Instagram does that now too.
Okay, so...
And so it'll warn you. It'll be like you've been on for 10 minutes, and
Right.
I'm like, that's when I turn it off now.
So the podcast, you can have it turn off at the end of the podcast or turn off in 10 minutes or 20
But I
minutes.
don't want people to turn our podcast
No,
off.
not
They
this-
keep
No.
this one on all
But what
day
was really
long.
interesting, before I knew that was a feature, my sons, this is the only reason you have kids is so they can show you how to work
The futuristic
technology.
stuff.
Yeah. My sons showed me this because I had been trying to get to sleep, listening to this Tim Keller sermon, and I fell asleep, but it kept playing sermon after sermon after sermon. And in my mind, I was having a dream that Tim Keller was talking to me in my head and I couldn't stop him. And I was going around to people saying, I can't stop Tim Keller. I'm talking to my he's in my head. This was my dream.
It's like a nightmare.
What a nightmare. I was like, I loved him, but I can't.
That's like the ones I
And
have
my
where I
son said,
can't stop
you got to
running.
put it on a timer.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like, what?
crazy. All right, I'm going to check out the timer. I didn't know you could do that.
Yes.
But the Hidden Brain one, so I listened to one called, what was it? Minimizing Pain, Maximizing Joy.
Okay.
And it was really interesting. And then I went to Bible study last night, and it really, like, the stories, the between, like, what they were talking about in Hidden Brain, which is not at all religious.
Yes.
But then then what we were learning in the Bible study, it all sort of intersected at the right time. And I was like, this is so wild, like right now. And just teaching you to like really be present, really be grateful, really, focus on gratitude. And they said something interesting on Hidden Brain. They said there's something called the gap. Oh, what do they call it? The gap something, where you are aware of what you have, but you want more. You want something else, and you can see the gap between what you have and what someone else might have. And so you try to fill that gap. You try to catch up, make that gap, close that gap in, right? And the way to not do that, the way to not cause yourself pain, or to be more grateful or be more present in the moment, is to really like focus on what you're grateful for. Like the two guys, the host and the guest, were saying they'll pretend like their wife died, or that something's the last time. Like this might be the last time I ever mow the lawn. Like someday there will be a last time that I'm going to mow the lawn, and when that happens, maybe I'll be in an old age home, and I'll be thinking about the time I mowed the lawn, and there will be a last time I mowed the lawn. So and then I'll think of that as the good old days, and like they were talking about like these are the good old days, and and it was really interesting. And then at Bible study we were talking about that same sort of thing, like being present, being grateful, and the way you pray and that kind of thing. And I was like, it all is so true. Like, to maximize your joy, just imagine this is the last time I might get to kiss this person goodbye, or,
Right.
Talk to them on the phone or whatever it is.
Well, one of the ones on Hidden Brain I really enjoyed was they had the author of a book on. The book is called Choke. And it came on the heels of Simone Biles at the Olympics, just not
getting the yips, or what she called.
Yeah. And this author talked about this happened to her. She was a college athlete, and they were being scouted, and she knew it, and she just completely screwed up and didn't get the whatever she was looking for, whether it was a scholarship or whatever. And she wrote a book about it, about what makes you choke, and a lot of it is just because. And one of the reasons I was interested is because I've been going and doing little parts in some movies. And, that's not my comfort zone, because I've been on these long-running shows where I know the sound stage and I know the actors and I know the
You know where
writers.
craft service is, and you're number one on the call sheet.
You know
and the
who
red
your
mark
character
is yours.
is, and you can kind of relax, right? Because and people know you, and if you flub it, that's
It's no big
fine,
deal.
and you usually don't flub because you're so relaxed and you kind of know what's expected of you. Well, when you drop into a movie for a day or two, and everybody else has formed a family, you're not really part of that family. And, if you're just doing a couple scenes, and like a lot of these movies are on a tight budget and a tight schedule. So you don't want to be that person who comes in and screws the day up for the director, right?
And you only get like a chance to make
you have
this
to,
impression
you have to
like
know
really quickly.
your stuff because they're not going to spend a lot of time on you,
Yeah.
And some of these parts that were so small, and I was like, for weeks before, I'm like, why did I take this part?
Yeah, nervous, yeah.
Yeah, you just can't sleep. Like, it's hanging over your head like a cloud.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, and because I'm just going to walk into a situation where I am not in control in any way, shape, or form.
But here's the thing I always think about that. Like, I used to always get nervous doing everything. Everything I get nervous about. Am I going to mess it up? Am I going to trip? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to, am I going to make people mad? Am I going to suck? Or, what are people going to say about me? But there's only a few things that I don't feel that way about now. And it's like things like, presenting an award at an award show or going on a talk show or something. Like, I feel like, okay, I've got that. Like, I can answer any question you throw at me. But if you don't feel that way about like the big things, about like directing something, producing something, starring in something, guest starring in something, then I feel like you're dead.
Right.
Yes. That's what I try to remind myself that like, I'm nervous. Why am I so nervous? Calm down. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, it's okay. It's okay if I'm nervous because that's a normal human reaction and I'm living the experience and I'm not dead to the world or what's happening.
Success feels so much better.
Yeah.
When you overcome that.
Yes, right. And I think, it is as badly as actors can come across to the rest of the world, right?
Y'all are all right.
Entitled, sort of, out of touch with the real world, right? We're kind of spoiled, blah, blah, blah. But I have so much sympathy because what we do is hard. And I just did a very small part in a movie with Brian Cox, who plays Logan in Succession. Mm-hmm. Such a wonderful, I've been a fan of his forever. And when I saw that I would get to do a scene with him, I was like, okay, I want to do this movie. It's just a couple scenes, right? So, okay, let's do it. And the first scene, I'm just sitting across the desk from him talking, playing a doctor. This movie isn't out yet, but, you would have thought I had Tourette's the way I said my first line. It was like I got it out of my mouth. And I looked at him. This is when the camera had turned around on me, right? And I just looked at him. I said, I totally suck. I hate doing this. And he said, being an actor is so hard and nobody knows it.
Oh yeah. It's
it was
it's
so
constant.
nice of him to have said that to me. And then I was fine.
But it's like constant imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Right? You always feel like you're an imposter. You always feel like no matter how much I direct and how much, people hire me back and stuff, I'm still like, they don't realize that what the mistake they made and they don't realize what's going on. But I hear that about, I've heard that in a lot of interviews and stuff from a lot of big actors, writers, directors, politicians, everybody. Like you kind of hear that, we all have a lot of insecurities.
I feel that way.
And I think actors
I
more
do
so than
normal
anyone.
human things. Like I'm not an actor or anything big like that. But I remember, like, I studied weather, and I remember finishing the program, and I even won an award. Like, I'm a great weather forecaster, but I feel like the biggest fraud because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I do laundry.
Yeah, right.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I do
a
more
lot
than that.
more than that.
But, it's those moments where you're just like
PTA.
it's hard to
to
feel
everything.
like, I don't know, like, am I a scientist?
Yeah,
I'm not
I
a
know.
scientist.
Right.
But yeah, kind of am a
I know,
scientist.
It's constantly trying to remind
convince yourself
that
that
you're,
this-
and that's normal human insecurity. And I think that actors and creative types in general, and Amanda, you're one of them. You're definitely uber creative. Just have so much insecurity, right? I mean, I feel like when you think of someone that's a diva or that's, I feel like it's always like some sort of an insecurity coming out. And that's why we try to slip into other people's skins and try to play other people.
Yes, but I also think that very few people in their jobs have to come up with something and put it out there for the whole world to see.
Judge.
And criticize.
And to judge and criticize. Like
it's
nobody
literally
has
someone's
to
job.
do.
Well,
we
that's
do it
that's true.
every day.
If the show's a hit, it's because of you. But if the show's a flop, it's because of you.
Right.
So
Right, you
it's-
can't
And
win.
you also think like if you're a writer or if you're a producer and you decide this is a great project worth all my time and energy and money, and you push it out there, and there's, of course you're going to doubt yourself and think like, why would anybody else be interested in this? Maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe and I think I talk about in my book, Your Second Act, I open with sitting in this hotel room in Oklahoma City, and we're trying to find this location for this movie that we finally got done, and we're just about to take it out to sell it. It's called Unexpected, with Anna Camp and Joe Mazzello. And we couldn't find our location. And I'm sitting in this hotel room, and I'm like, I'm 62. I could be by my pool. And I'm sitting in Oklahoma City in this hotel, driving way out to the boonies, looking for a farmhouse that would be suitable for this. What am I doing? Like, why? And why? I don't have any business producing. Why would, and the movie has turned out so beautifully. But when you're in the thick of it, you're thinking, we have no idea what we're doing. And this could all just turn to dust and ashes.
It's not like you're crunching numbers where it's like
Where you know
it's very
that if
obvious equation.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's not at all. It's a very subjective
and it's
thing.
hit or miss. I mean, look, you and I both know we've had huge successes and huge failures.
Yes.
And
things that you thought were going to be like, oh,
yeah.
it's me and Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah,
Of course
yeah.
this is going to run forever.
right.
Gone in 3 episodes.
Oh, it was such a good show though. I remember
Yeah,
that.
it was that. Back to you. And you know who else was in that? Josh Gad.
Oh, really?
Oh my
Yes. Ty Burrell from Modern Family,
my
who played Phil.
gosh.
I mean, that had
That was
an
one that was
amazing cast.
meant to go. That something
did that
weird
not
happened. It's
Because
just
the writer's
some
strike happened.
executive.
The writer's strike happened, and then when they came back, it was like everything was.
But look, I don't even know how you would have had time for that. You did Everybody Loves Raymond. That like pretty much what you had a year or two off, and then you went into
And then
the middle,
I-
and then you had like 6 months off, and went into Carol's second act.
Yeah, something like that. I did. Yeah, I think Back to You is between Raymond and the middle.
Okay. In that tiny amount of time,
Yeah.
you had.
Right, that
But
minute.
Imagine if that had gone 5
Yes,
seasons,
you're right.
then you wouldn't have had the middle,
Right,
and,
yes.
But then maybe the middle would have come later.
Right.
No, it probably would have happened with someone else. Who knows? Like,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
so crazy.
It's
What are you going to make for dinner tonight?
Why do we have to eat 3 times a day? It's so hard to make decisions for the family. People are picky.
Every single night.
It can be really difficult. So,
Every single day.
do you know what I've been using that really helps?
What?
Hellofresh.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know Hellofresh.
I love HelloFresh.
They're America's #1 meal kit, first of all. And it just makes home cooking easy, fun, affordable. That's why I love it.
I love it too. And my kids have really gotten into it. They enjoy helping me with the recipe cards. Not all of them can read the cards yet.
That's okay, though. Getting them involved in the kitchen is like one of the ways they say you teach kids good habits. And you're teaching them like a lifelong skill, which is
Yes.
awesome.
And all of the ingredients are already pre-portioned out. It is so user-friendly.
It's already all there. You skip the grocery store and you can count on HelloFresh to make it all happen for you. So you don't have to worry about what's for dinner tonight. It's already there in your fridge.
That's awesome. Maybe we'll have those meatballs again tonight.
Oh, the meatballs are good. HelloFresh has fit and wholesome recipes for satisfying and nutritious meals that can make you feel good with up to 6 recipes per week to choose from, including low-calorie and carb-conscious options. You like the carb-conscious.
I do. I'm really trying to lose weight right now, so
And you're working on the gluten-free, right?
yeah, that's going to make it easier.
I just love how convenient it is. It's quick and easy. 20-minute recipes, low prep, easy cleanup. They'll even provide faster route to putting food on the table. I love
That's
that.
nice. Quick dinners on weeknights.
There's nothing better with having a big family, and it's also 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal. And we used to eat out a lot. And now since we have HelloFresh, not only are we eating better, it's much
We're
more
at
reasonable.
home.
My wallet is more full and I'm full, but I'm also not putting on the LBs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean exactly.
I'm able to keep it to a good portion, if you will.
So if our listeners want to give HelloFresh a try, they just need to go to HelloFresh.com/binge16 and use the code binge16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts.
Yeah, so go to HelloFresh.com/binge16, BINGE16, and use that code binge16 for up to 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. And we want to thank HelloFresh for keeping our little What Women Binge podcast going, and we hope you guys will take advantage of this amazing offer they're giving us. Amanda, I just couldn't deal with dinner last night, so you know what I did?
What did you do?
I reached in my pantry and I pulled out a box of cereal and I added a little oat milk to it. And do you know what it was?
I have a suspicion that
I
it
bet
might
you know.
be Magic Spoon.
It is Magic Spoon.
It's our fave.
I love cereal. It's easy when I can't think about stuff. I just can't, I get home and I just can't deal with trying to put something together and whatnot. So grabbing the box of cereal, adding a little oat milk to have my protein in there is just my favorite part. I have been exploring combining the cocoa with the frosty.
Oh, how's that?
Yes, it's delish.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, so it's like, you got the chocolate vanilla. It's like a Neapolitan, if you will. I just need a little strawberry in there.
Oh, you could add the fruity.
Oh, then I'll have to do 2 at a time, then I'll add the third.
Oh,
One step at a time, Amanda.
we're creating a blend of our own. Are you listening, Magic Spoon?
So I love it because it's also 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving.
That's so good. And it's only 140 calories a serving.
It's also keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low carb.
And there's a variety pack. So if you aren't sure which flavor to order, you can get the variety pack. It's 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter.
Yeah, so all you have to do is go to magicspoon.com/WWB to grab the variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code. It's WWB at checkout to save $5 off your first order.
And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it at all, for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked.
Yeah, remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/WWB and use the code WWB to save $5 off.
Thanks, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode of What Women Binge.
Okay, we have a few questions for you. We ask everybody. What show is listed under continue to watch on your Netflix or any queue?
Yeah. So it would be, as we mentioned, Ozark.
Okay, so you still have to get through that.
Get through that and continuing watching 1883.
Okay.
And I watch The Office constantly.
Oh, that's your go-to.
That's my go-to, kind of like relax. Yeah.
What about a book that's been on your nightstand like a little too long that you didn't finish?
It was about the pandemic of 19 whatever.
The 1912.
Yes.
Or the
Spanish flu.
19. Yeah,
Yes,
Spanish
the
flu.
Spanish flu. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a very good book.
What's it called? Do you know?
The Great Flu epidemic,
Okay,
something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
What's your go-to podcast for long commutes?
Well, Tim Keller sermons. That's always good. And I do audio books, Audible.
Okay.
That's long term.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't get Audible to work for me. I just use books, by the way. I can't get that app.
Oh.
I don't know. It's not as easy as Amazon.
Right.
Show you watch only to have something to talk about with other people. Is there something like you...
That I don't really like. I'm not that into,
or maybe that you
but-
turned on just because people were talking about it.
Yes,
And you didn't
well,
think you'd like...
the reason I started watching Breaking Bad was that one Halloween where everyone was dressing up as Heisenberg, and I'm like, "What is this? Why is everybody wearing a pork pie hat?" And people I trusted or whose opinions I respected were all watching Breaking Bad, and I had watched the pilot, and I remember it's like it's. Brian in his underwear in a RV with some gal jumping out the window from having sex, and the guy jumps out the window. I mean, I just thought, I can't start the week with these people. This is too depressing. And then, of course, I got so invested in it because we were behind, like 3 seasons behind. So I would be watching it. And I would have to be on the middle at 6 a.m., right, to be in hair and makeup. It would be 2 a.m. And I would be like, okay, if I watch one more episode, that'll be 3 a.m. Then I'll have 3 hours of sleep, and then I can get at least 30 minutes of sleep at lunchtime. Okay, I'll just do one more.
That's a true binge.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was a
it
true
is.
binge.
All-time favorite movie?
On the Waterfront,
Okay.
Marlon Brando, Eva Marie Saint, Carl
I don't
Malden.
think I've seen that.
Oh!
I know. Okay, we'll have a movie night. We'll
We
watch
have to
it.
have a movie. Have you?
Yeah, no, I've never seen that one.
Oh!
I've been
it's
meaning
the
to.
Great,
Yeah.
On every level, music, writing, acting.
Okay.
Oh, well, you know how we feel
Story.
about classics. So
Oh, yeah, we got to do
Okay.
it. We got to do
Okay,
it.
we're going to do that.
All right, that's on the list for sure. Beauty product you can't live without.
There's so many. I would say Oxygenics, which is like this oxygenating cream that I put on morning, noon, and night.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get me that because you have great skin. A show you didn't expect to like but ended up. Oh no, a show you
expected to like.
expected to like but ended up disliking. I'm like I can't even read right now.
A show I expected to like and ended up not liking. I usually stop right away if I don't. Like, I never watch anything all the way
Well, like
through.
I watched that.
What,
I
take
hate
me
to
to-
badmouth, especially because when friends work on them. But there's that show Ghosts right now that came
Yeah,
out a little while
on
ago.
CBS. It's supposed to be
I think
good.
it is.
Like, you
It looked
should.
funny. I was like, what a great idea.
Yeah.
Some humans move into a house that's haunted.
Yeah.
How fun. I thought it was wrong on every level.
Really?
Not even
Oh,
wrong. Not even like really basic jokes and like just overplayed acting. And
Right.
I was just like, I tried so hard to get through a few of them and I was like,
Right.
It might be one of those that season 2 ends up being better and they really
Right.
find their groove, but
Yeah.
I gave up on it.
Oh, okay. So I hate to say this. I'm not a Ted Lasso fan.
I was wondering if
That
there were
would
any
hurt.
out there.
Have I
You're
just
the
canceled
first.
this entire episode?
You're the first.
I
want to know
listen,
why.
No,
I've
I'm
tried
intrigued.
3 times.
Really?
Oh.
Nothing against the actors. I don't think there's no jokes.
Your husband's British.
I know. He's also a huge soccer fan.
This seems so weird to me.
No. Okay,
anyone should
I
like
can unequivocally say it is not a funny show because
Okay.
I feel like I know comedy really well.
You are
do,
a very
you
funny
do.
person.
Yes.
So I'm
It's
really,
not funny.
I want to see it through your eyes.
I know.
We keep, people we highly respect keep saying, "Oh, Ted Lasso," and we're like, "Okay, we have to try again." Because
He doesn't like it either. Dave doesn't like it?
No, we're
That's
like
crazy.
we don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
we
okay.
sat there through the whole first.
You like the
pilot,
dark stuff, though.
and we
You
were
like the
just
dark
like,
stuff, I
well,
think.
I love
That's the
The
drama.
Office, though. But here's the thing: The Office is super dark. Actually,
Yes,
It is actually because
You know?
he's pretty mean.
they're all
They're all
kind of
mean to
awful,
each other. Yeah,
but
it's
in
true.
the best, funniest.
You
way.
like the self-deprecating stuff.
Yes,
I think.
yes.
What about a food you would take to a deserted island? Just one, if you could have one.
One. Okay. Does this count if I say breakfast burrito?
Yeah, sure.
Because that has everything in it, right? It's got meat, it's got cheese, it's got a
Yeah,
little
I mean, I would say
carb.
pizza, and pizza has everything in
Yes.
it too. So breakfast
I would
burritos,
say a
that's
breakfast
a good
burrito
one.
if I was just talking about survival.
Yeah,
If I was talking about just what I love, it's
something you can't live without.
like I can live without it because I do live without it, but apple fritters.
Oh,
Like especially from
Hostess?
Victor's Bakery in LA.
a real bakery. Okay,
Victor Benny's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is one book that you have on your bucket list that you want to read?
Well, 2. Both Russian. Right. Crime and Punishment and Brothers Brothers
Okay.
Karamazov, which I have tried 3 times because apparently it was my mother's favorite book. She died when I was 12. And I feel like I will connect with her better if I would read that book because she was so into it. Those Russian names, man, it's like reading the Old Testament.
Is there an audiobook you can listen to instead that maybe would
but it's
help
hard
you
for
with
me to keep. I have to. I'm more.
'Cause I feel like Game
visual.
of Thrones would be really difficult if you didn't know the names before you read the
Oh,
book. Like,
Game of Thrones, when we first started watching, we had to pull up one of those trees, like family trees.
yeah.
And we had to keep pausing it and look
Super
down
confusing.
at the
How they
chart
related.
Yep.
to see who was
See,
who.
I haven't done that one either yet because it's
You know what?
super dark.
The violence in it is what it is. The sex in it was like.
That's only for the first 2
OTT.
seasons, but there is a lot of it, and it's disturbing.
It's disturbing.
disturbing sex.
Yeah.
Movie you feel like you should have watched but haven't.
Movie I feel. Well, I've never watched. What's the James Cameron one where they go to the planet?
Titanic. Oh,
Avatar.
Avatar.
I've never seen that either.
Never seen it. I just have zero interest.
All right, we got to have some movie nights,
Yeah.
peeps. Workout or class you're obsessed with? Well, you're obsessed with your trainer.
Yes, Erin O'Priya. You got to have her on here.
I hear she's very famous. I've got to.
Yeah.
She's no joke. And your most juicy guilty pleasure?
Of anything?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might be just constant HGTV.
Ah.
Yeah. Constant home reno shows, the lottery winners, House Hunters International, one of our favorites, where the people in Europe get away with murder selling these rundown old places, right? And they've got all these Americans there going in this crumbling Italian villa going, I could see myself with a glass of wine out here every day. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have heat or running water. But go ahead and drink your wine out there.
I love that. So we always ask everyone, how many unread emails do you have in your inbox? Do you have your?
Yep. How many unread?
This is very telling of people. Don't
Is
you?
it?
Like,
Did you-
yes.
Well, it's
Amanda used to have 92,000. What are you at now?
94,000.
What are you at now?
so how do you find where the unread ones?
Just the red
Just got
dot.
all inboxes. Oh, she's actually got a very manageable number.
2,493.
That's not bad.
Oh my gosh. You guys.
I was
Hold
at
on.
94,000.
But I probably
I'm at
subscribe
69.
to too many things. You know when you're trying to buy
You gotta
something.
get, so this is what I tell everybody. You got to get a different email address, like a
I know.
Hotmail or a Yahoo, another address where all the
those.
shopping goes there.
That's what it is.
So I have 69 unread right now in my inbox.
One of our listeners yesterday tagged me on Instagram on his. It had over 250,000.
That's someone who
It's in
doesn't
my
check
story.
their crap. They need to check the crap.
I felt very known and understood, actually.
Wait, do you have a ton of unread?
Well, I don't
Oh,
anymore
she
because
had, like-
Melissa is trying to change
Except
me.
that all she did was check the
doesn't
red. She
love
made them
me
all
for who I
red. It
am.
doesn't mean that they were actually red. She
Right.
didn't like delete anything or unsubscribe or clear it out. She just, so every day this week I've been like, Amanda, I'm doing the letter W today. Are you doing W? Let's do W. Like I wanted to go alphabetically
and I
through
just
the
thumbs up it
sender.
and keep scrolling.
Well, I also don't listen to voicemail.
I don't either. I have
And
hundreds
it
of
says
voicemails.
it says it on my message. I said I don't listen to voicemail
I have
very
a few
often.
I haven't answered.
So
yeah.
please text me.
But see, the little red dots, the little the notifications drive me nuts. So I have to do things to
I
get
can
them off. I have to
easily
get them
ignore
off
them.
my plate.
I don't.
Oh, I
just
can't.
don't do notifications. Just turn off your notifications.
No, but then I won't know how much people need me.
Oh, but you have notifications turned off on my text messages.
Yeah.
Because it tells
no.
me.
From 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. I do.
Or all day long.
See here.
No,
here's
that's
the
on group
thing.
text.
You should not
Group
be
text.
able to know if you text somebody. You shouldn't be able to know whether they're
she has it
ignoring you
on,
or
so I
not.
know.
Okay,
well,
so
I think
turn
that they
it
let
off.
you know. No, that's the thing. That's a new thing. I
I'll
think
show
where
you.
they
You ignore me
it says
all day
silence notifications. I think it's supposed to let you know, like when I text my kids. So now I know that they're not going to get it because they're at school, or
But
you're not going to get it. 'cause-
what's the thing about that people can tell whether you've read it or not?
red
yeah, the
receipts.
reds.
That's
I don't
when-
do that.
You can't do that.
I don't do that.
because-
Why?
Yeah.
I'm
Why
an
would you-
extrovert, but I need
Right.
that space.
Right.
Yes.
I need you not
I need
to
that
know.
space. The silence notification things. I'm like, oh, okay, they're at work or they're at school or they're
Well,
busy or
also,
they're in a meeting.
if you
or
hit it again, it notifies you anyway, which I really appreciate.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I'm important.
Also, yeah. My kids have figured out that if they call twice, it'll ring through. So that's why I've gotten a few calls in here before.
Oh, right.
She's going to ask you some this or
This or
that.
that's real quick.
These are just.
And then we're going to have you write down your
You're going to give us a secret because we're going to do an episode at the end of the season where we open
Okay.
up secrets.
Okay.
And you don't have to tell us who you are.
All right, you ready? Housewives or Kardashians?
Okay. Neither. Ever. I also will never do Dancing with the Stars, so stop asking.
Oh, wait, real quick on that. The middle, I don't know if it was the
I'm
first
so
or second episode.
disappointed.
You guys sit down to watch in 2009 Dance with the Stars. That was the season I was on.
Oh, it was.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's my season. So we were kind of connected in that way.
Okay.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Soft or firm mattress?
Soft.
Beach or mountains?
I love that you have to choose. Wait, really? Not mountains?
I love both, but I'm probably beach.
Coffee at home or Starbucks?
Coffee at home.
Sweet or salty?
Kettle corn, both.
Oh, yeah. You are my people.
Right.
Yes. Country or rock?
Well, if you listen to the Eagles, they are country and rock. So it's
You're a
hard.
combo of
Straight
everything.
down the middle here. Okay. Dog or cat?
Dog. Dog.
All right. Art or sports?
Art.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh.
Even though my dad was a sports writer.
And so was your husband on your first TV show.
And
So that's so weird.
And so was Ray.
Yeah, that's
and
super
Raymond.
bizarre. I
Yes.
didn't realize that until I was reading
Yes.
your Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And so that your dad was a sports writer. That's
Yeah.
wild.
He's in the Football Hall of Fame for being the top football writer in the
Really?
country in 1980. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Look
cool.
at you and your family and all
I have
your
no
awards.
interest in it. And he also told me never date a professional athlete.
And you went for an actor. Way to go.
Yeah.
That's
My
I
acting
didn't know
teacher
about
said
acting.
the only worse profession than acting is being a poet. So at least I didn't marry a poet. Right.
This has been so fun. Will you
Yes.
leave us a secret so we can open it on our last
Okay,
episode?
I'll have to think of it.
Thank you, Patty.
Okay,
Thanks for being
having me.
here.
Yes,
best.
This is good. Okay.
Thank you guys for joining us for What Women Binge. You can connect with all of us on your favorite social media platforms. We have at What Women Binge, Amanda.
I'm at Amanda WWB.
I'm at Melissa Joan Hart. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe anywhere you get podcasts. You can find all of our links at whatwomenbinge.com and subscribe on YouTube. Our wonderful theme song was written and produced by my cute husband, Mark Wilkerson. What Women Binge is produced by Laugh-O-Gram Studios, video production by Matt Giesler, and audio by Matt Lott, and production assistant Jennifer Best. What Women Binge is distributed by Podcast Heat. For more information, visit podcastheat.com.